Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a drill, this is not clickbait, this is not me trying to view farm, this is actually the biggest Battlefield news we've had in potentially 2 years at this point. So buckle in, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're going to follow the next Battlefield or just like Battlefield in general. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders, and let's get right into this gigantic breaking news. I am just going to cover these pieces of information in the order that they came out in. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a quote from the CEO of EA, Andrew Wilson, I believe during the Q3 EA 2024 earnings call, and he had this to say, quote, Battlefield 2042's community continues to grow, with total players up 17% year over year and Season 6 live services driving strong enough engagement, with weekly average users up 37% year over year, end quote. This is absolutely the least important piece of information I will be featuring in this video, and let's just dissect this like this. This is essentially the CEO of EA just reading numbers off of a piece of paper. The actual reality of the situation is 2042 doesn't really grow, it just sort of rebounds here and there whenever they release content, which is extremely infrequent. However, the game has made a very slight comeback, as he did mention, which is, of course, very good news, but I think this is a hilarious statement for me to read, personally, because when you take a step back and look at the big picture, you realize something very quickly, and this is something that Andrew Wilson will never mention to really anyone publicly, and that is the fact that they have caused untold damage to the amount of players playing Battlefield over the past few years with the past 2 Battlefield games. They have alienated potentially millions of players from playing Battlefield by producing terrible video games. So while the slight rebound of 2042 is definitely nothing to sneeze at, I think the complete and utter alienation of your player base is probably the bigger subject. However, they will of course never even acknowledge that. Moving on to some far juicier statements from the CEO of EA, this time regarding Battlefield 2042 and actually the next Battlefield as well. The first statement is as follows, quote, our team is working hard to deliver the community with increasingly engaging live services with the recent announcement of Battlefield 2042 Season 7 with new maps, weekly missions, and much more, end quote. So essentially that's just the typical EA corporate jargon for we're trying to work on Battlefield 2042, but we really don't want to, but we kind of have to because we can't cancel the game because we literally said we can't cancel it, blah, blah, blah. The next statement is, quote, we're making investments in the future of Battlefield franchise. Our exceptional teams from multiple world-class studios working with cutting-edge Frostbite technology are building an expansive, community-focused Battlefield universe for fans, end quote. And I know what you guys are already thinking. Deja vu, right? When I read that, I immediately got deja vu. I thought back to what they said about Battlefield 2042 with it being a love letter for fans, and we're making this for the community, and you guys are going to love it, and all that sort of stuff. I just cannot help but have massive anxiety reading this statement. And to be completely honest, this is far bolder than face value might suggest. For them to suggest that they're again making a community-focused Battlefield universe for fans after what they said about 2042, EA and DICE have some fucking balls, alright? They better not make this statement age poorly. Because if I were them, I would take an even safer approach than they're already taking, and we're, potentially years away from the game even releasing. And this segues me perfectly into the big one, the reason why you clicked onto the video in the first place. Breaking news. EA says they're looking for, quote, iconic new releases like Battlefield and other in-development titles beyond fiscal year 2025, so don't expect a new game before April 2025 at the earliest. And this is from Stuart Canfield, who is the EVP and Chief Financial Officer for EA. This is obviously a gigantic development. This answers so many questions that we've had during the release time of 2042, and it confirms that we will not be getting the typical release cycle of Battlefield games, which was, 3 years. If they stuck to the typical release cycle, we would have gotten a new Battlefield at the end of 2024. And to be completely honest with you, I am shocked that EA actually did the right thing and delayed the game until 2025. And furthermore, I used the wrong wording when I said delayed the game, because this isn't even a delay, because they didn't fucking, promise a release date and then delay the release date. They are just simply giving the developers more time to actually make the fucking game, like they probably should have done with 2042 in the first place. So, by all means, this is the correct decision, but it's sort of a double-edged sword. And the reason why I say this is a double-edged sword is now this raises a bunch of other questions that have yet to be answered. Most alarmingly and most immediately, what the hell is going to happen with Battlefield 2042? Are they going to cancel the game after Season 8 and have a gigantic period of downtime? Or are they going to announce some sort of half-assed Year 3 support leaning in to 2025? Also, one very important thing to consider is them pushing the release window back for the next Battlefield doesn't necessarily mean we're going to have a banger release on our hands. That sort of hinges on if they made the right decisions with the game itself. You can push the release window back all you want. For instance, I still maintain to this day that they could have delayed Battlefield 2042 until 2028 if they wanted, and that game still would have released a massive piece of shit, because you can only put so much lipstick on the pig that you made. That is why the inherent concepts that you're putting in the next Battlefield game are so important. Are you going to try to put lipstick on a pig, or are you going to fucking make a purebred racehorse of a Battlefield game and actually give the players the things that they want? Server browser, way better maps than 2042, more content, more this, that, everything. Because it doesn't necessarily matter how much time they have if what they're working on is terrible in the first place. And I'm not trying to already harp on the next Battlefield game, obviously. I'm just trying to make that very important point that I don't think many people actually talk about. Now, one thing I wanted to mention in the Battlefield Bulletin post is it's very important to look at the specifics of what they state beyond fiscal year 2025. So technically, we could also be looking at like a fucking January 2026 release, which is crazy. And also another thing they mention is the earliest the next Battlefield could possibly release is April 2025. I don't think they will go for some sort of strange middle of the year release. I think they will definitely go for the Christmas noobs and like the September, October, November, December release window like they always do. But then you have to think about what other games are releasing in that time frame. GTA 6? Are they really going to try to contest with GTA 6's hype? I certainly fucking hope not. But then again, knowing EA and their just ridiculous arrogance, they wouldn't even pay attention to the fact that other massive games are coming out within their release window, and they'll just do it anyway. And before I go into the final topic in this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the content. I do post videos regularly, and when the next Battlefield comes out, I am and plan to be the main place for the best Battlefield content on YouTube. So subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and I stream every day at Twitch TV Ender's, first link in the description. The one thing I wanted to mention before I wrap this video up is the massive implications of this. We have already seen EA take, I would say, a more serious stance on Battlefield by just the people that they hired around the next Battlefield game. Bringing back David Sirlin, aka Tigger from Battlefield 4. Hiring the literal creator of Halo in Marcus Leto to develop the single-player aspect of the next Battlefield. Hiring Vince Zampella from Respawn. And then, of course, firing and rehiring a lot of people that had to do with 2042 and just sort of replacing those people. They're taking a massively more serious stance with the next Battlefield game, and them pushing the release window back to 2025 further reinforces that serious stance. I just hope that they actually got the concepts right and they're working on the correct things, because this is their final chance, and I think they know that. Their messaging here and just the way they're acting really does tell me that they know that this is extremely serious, probably more so than other Battlefield releases. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. As always, if you do enjoy the content, be sure to hit the like button. Thanks so much to everyone that does that. Subscribe to the channel. I am posting shorts, so let me know if you like those, because I'm going to continue to do those. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hope to see you guys in the streams as well.